The Blue Chip Sports Network presents Get in the Game with Eric, Brian, Reggie, and Jordan on iTunes, the Blue Chip Broadcasting YouTube channel, and BlueChipBroadcasting.com.
Welcome, everybody, to Get in the Game. This is our new format. We are going, and you guys may regret us doing this because now you get to see our ugly mugs. We have our own YouTube station. We're going to be doing our podcast, both video and audio, and it is going to be nothing but fun. So welcome to episode number 76 of Get in the Game. Been a long time since we've done an episode. There's been a lot of life lived and a lot of life experienced since the last time we got together. My name's Eric Davis, Big E. I'm kind of driving the boat here a little bit, but Brian, why don't you introduce yourself so they get to see where that lovely dulcet baritone voice comes from?
Yeah, up here in the, top left-hand corner? What square would that be in old Hollywood squares, right? Isn't that the square everybody wanted to start in? So I'm up here. Good to see everybody. So glad we have a chance to do this again. We're excited to do the video on the YouTube channel. We'll give you insight onto how to find that at the end of the podcast. If you're just listening to it on iTunes, and we're going to be putting out a lot of social media stuff. The good news, Eric, is it's not going to be you or me that's putting any of that social media stuff out. It'll be our lovely intern. What do we call her? The fabulous Chelsea B?
The fabulous Chelsea B, baby. She's
going to get all that social media stuff out to you on Instagram and Twitter. So check that out, and you'll be able to find the YouTube channel as well as you can always find us on iTunes and BlueChipBroadcasting.com.
And if you were wondering what the kid looks like, why don't you introduce yourself, Jordan?
The youngest looking one. No, I'm just kidding. How you guys doing? Jordan Santa Maria. Lucky apart to be with this team for I don't know how long now. What, 2 years, 3 years?
I think this is our third year.
Third year.
It's 21 years in dog years. It just seems like a long time now.
But 76 episodes, and they've all been fun. So we're excited to do this new format.
All right. And down on the other square, we've got the professor himself, Mr. Reggie Wright.
What's up, guys? Eric, you talked about driving the boat at the top of the show. I didn't realize you were quarantining on your private yacht. That's nice. Tell us a little bit about that.
There's a lot you don't know about me.
Yeah, apparently.
But it's all about social distancing. So we are spread across probably about, 3-4 square miles of this city. And I think that's enough distance. I feel a lot more comfortable personally.
That's for a lot of other reasons too. So
yeah. Mainly, I'm not wearing pants is the number one reason. But.
Well, there was concern. Now you've eliminated all doubt. So what are we going to do today, guys? We are going to have a quarantine quiz. There's not a lot of sports going on right now for us to talk about, so we have to make up our own. And we've decided we are going to have a contest, and it is called the Quarantine Quiz Show. We are going to test some of our sports trivia knowledge, and then maybe through some of the questions we'll have some stuff that'll be very interesting for you all to learn. So without any more ado, let's go ahead and get this thing started. We're going to start. Everybody has put together a question from basketball, baseball, and football, and then a bonus question on top of that. So let's start with our baseball questions. And Brian, being our resident baseball guru, we may as well get the toughest one out of the way first. So,
oh God, this one is going to be struggle.
All right,
city.
so everybody understands what the rules are in this. We will read the question twice, the answers twice, and then you'll have 15 seconds to put up your answer. And this is how you'll put up your answer with your paper like this, so everybody can see. That way you can't say B and then, oh no, I meant D. So
well, that's a good sign, Brian. I think that was my grade point average in high school. So D, we're starting off. That's a good omen.
Your teacher makes me feel so good.
The youth of America in great hands.
And then Jordan, show them your board that will keep score.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, it's it's the board that's gotten beat up by Coach Trevor millions of times, so it's a little off.
We're just happy it's in one piece.
It's in one piece still, and it'll kind of do the job.
All right, Brian.
Each question worth 1 point, and then the bonus question will be worth 3 points. That way you're never out of it. All right, here we go. Are you ready, gentlemen? It's a baseball question.
Ready as I'll ever be.
And it's about the Giants. I tried to make it somewhat possible for you to answer.
Or somewhat predictable. Either one.
All right, are we ready? Since moving to San Francisco in 1958, the San Francisco Giants have thrown 9 no-hitters. Which of the following teams have they not thrown multiple, meaning 2 or more no-hitters against? They have not thrown multiple no-hitters against one of these teams. Which one is it? Is it Atlanta, Houston, the New York Mets, or San Diego? Again, the Giants have thrown 9 no-hitters since they moved to San Francisco. Which of the following teams did they not throw multiple no-hitters against? Atlanta is A, Houston is B, the New York Mets are C, and San Diego is D. 15 seconds.
Okay. I feel like this may be a trick question, so I'm going to go with my gut on the one. I know that this happened once.
You are all incorrect.
Ah,
Wow.
The correct answer is A, Atlanta. They only threw 1 no-hitter against. That was John Montefusco back in 1976 as a rookie.
Interesting.
They threw 2 no-hitters against Houston. Juan Marichal against the Houston Colt 45s in 1963. And Matt Cain with his perfect game in 2012. They've thrown 2 no-hitters against the New York Mets. Ed Halicki in 1975. And then Chris Heston a few years ago. That probably the most unlikely
That's
no-hitter
the
of
one
all
I forgot
time.
about. That's
Yep.
the one I
And then, of course, San Diego Padres, they have thrown 3 no-hitters against the Padres in the last 11 years. Jonathan Sanchez and 2 by Tim Lincecum. So
All right.
no points.
so I think it's time for me to go to my secret weapon. I've learned this from my students. You know, Brian, you mentioned, or Eric, one of you mentioned that I do teach. I'm just going to go with the universal symbol. It could be a B, could be a D, could be an A, or it could be a C, depending on how you look at it. Okay? So I'm
It
calling
looks
it a
like
big
something
gun.
else, but I'm not going to say what it is.
Yeah. I think, by the way, I want to throw a rule change in here right now. I think if you stump everybody, you should get a point.
Okay.
I
give
like
me a
that.
point
I
there,
was
Jordan.
thinking
Give me a
that.
point.
Okay.
Starting now. So that first one,
That first one doesn't count.
starting from this
No.
point forward.
Exactly. I think that's only fair.
Yeah.
Give Brian a
Or that would
point.
be
And,
1.
Okay.
Tick.
okay, Jordan, what you got?
Okay. I'm up. Okay. So I'm following Brian's suit with the Giants question. I mean, we're all big time
People
Giants
are going to think
fans.
that we're just all San Francisco all the time.
Well, they wouldn't be wrong baseball wise. I'm just saying. But okay, Brian, I'm gonna be disappointed in you because this whole thing is to stump you because you're the guru. Okay. All right. Which of the following numbers is not retired for the San Francisco Giants?
Okay.
Is not retired for the San Francisco Giants. Is it A, number 11, B, number 20, C, number 27, or D, number 15? I'll go one more time. Which of the following numbers is not retired for the San Francisco Giants? Is it A, number 11, B, number 20, C, 27, or D, 15?
I'm going to show my ignorance here.
Man,
I have no idea.
Correct
I'm going for the
answer
most obvious ones.
is D.
And Brian is taking the lead, boys. Jeez.
Because 11 is Carl Hubble, 20
Oh,
is Gene
God.
Kleins, and 27 is Juan Marichal.
Okay,
Whatever.
you were wrong on 20, Brian. 20 was Monty Irvin.
Oh, Monty Irvin,
Oh.
that's right. Monty
Yeah.
Irvin.
So yeah, 11
course.
Carl Hubble, 9-time All-Star pitcher. B, Monty Irvin, Hall of Famer outfielder, and then of course 27 C, Juan Marichal.
But
If
D will
D
be
would have
retired
given me-
shortly.
Right. Who was the last person to wear 15? Do you guys know that?
Bruce Bochy.
Okay, hold on. Player.
Oh, player. Oh, Carlos Beltran.
Carlos Beltran. Look at Brian. On a
Carlos
roll.
He's not
Man.
getting any bonus points for that. No. Reg, you're up.
All right, guys. What was Ty Cobb's favorite letter? Was it A, B, B, A, C, D, or D, 4? Just kidding. We're gonna stick.
Oh my God.
We have another one.
Okay.
Eric, you need something stronger than that.
I'm hoping to stretch your guys' knowledge of the history of baseball here. Okay. I'm gonna elect not to make this a trick question, so there is going to be a correct answer. So, which of the following franchises have never participated in Major League Baseball? Okay, which of the following franchises have never participated in Major League Baseball? Is it A, the Orphans, B, the Bridegrooms, C, the Phantoms, or D, the Perfectos? Once again, that's which of the following franchises have never participated in Major League Baseball? Is it A, the Orphans, B, the Bridegrooms, C, the Phantoms, or D, the Perfectos? Eric, you nailed it. Nice job. The correct answer is C, the Phantoms, not a real franchise.
The Bridegrooms? Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah, the Bridegrooms.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the
yeah.
Bridegrooms, Jordan, because they are now known as the Los Angeles Dodgers. They began as a AA franchise known as the Brooklyn Bridegrooms, and then eventually moved to the major leagues in 1890. And they were the Bridegrooms from 1890 to 1898 before eventually becoming the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the other ones, the Chicago Cubs were the Chicago Orphans from 1898 to 1901. And the St. Louis Perfectos in 1899 eventually became the St. Louis Cardinals.
All right. Make sure I get my point for that.
I got you, Eric. I got you.
Oh, and
I'm going to beat Brian, and he's got to buy me a beer if I do.
Side note, guys, here's the quick
Brian's
story.
In the lead right now.
Here's the quick story on the Bridegrooms, guys. The reason they went with the mascot of the Bridegrooms is that several of the team members happened to get married during the same year. So they just went with Bridegrooms.
There you go. Makes a lot of sense. All right. My baseball question is, who has the most multi-home run games in Major League history? The most multi-home run games in Major League history. Is it A, Willie Mays, B, Hank Aaron, C, Barry Bonds, or D, Babe Ruth? Most multi-home run games in Major League Baseball history. Is it Willie Mays, A, Hank Aaron, B, Barry Bonds, C, or Babe Ruth, D?
Jiminy Christmas. I feel like it's got to be obvious, but that's why I don't want to go there.
Well, they're all three. They're any of the three could be it. And the correct answer, with 72 multi-home run games in Major League history, D, the Babe.
Let's go.
Jordan.
Get me on the board.
Jordan, as a bonus, just out of curiosity, of those four guys, who had the most 3 home run games or more?
That would be Mays.
Bonds. I'd say
Mays, you would be wrong.
I say Bonds.
Reggie says Bonds, you would be correct. He has had 4 games of 3 or more home runs in that Major League record there too. But good job, Jordan. All right, we're going to move on to our basketball questions. And let's start this round with Reggie, and we'll go the other way around. So, Reg.
Come on, Reg. Get on the board, man.
I know. Well, I'm thinking this one might stump you. Guys. Okay? All right, here we go. So, though basketball was invented in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1891, basketball was invented by a Canadian. He was a physical education instructor named James Naismith. And he invented the game to keep students occupied when a snowstorm prevented them from being able to go outside and participate in their regular physical activities. So he came up with the basic rules to what we now know as basketball, okay? So basketball caught on in the U.S., but no Canadian team had ever won a championship until the Toronto Raptors, Canada's only NBA franchise, defeated the Warriors last year. Here's the question. How many Canadian teams have participated in the NBA? 1, 2, 3, or 4? So is it A1, B2, C3, or D4?
It's got to be. I feel like there's a trick, but it's got to be.
Okay, well, the correct answer. So you guys, I'm assuming, are thinking the Toronto Raptors and then the Vancouver Grizzlies, who are now in Memphis.
Right.
There was also a third team in Canada. That's right. Let's hear it for the Toronto Huskies, one of the original members of the NBA. They lasted one season, 1946 to 1947. Here's the thing about the Huskies, though, and this is why you guys should know this. They actually hosted the first ever game in the National Basketball Association, in which they lost 68-66 to the New York Knicks. Unfortunately, they had to fold due to they didn't get much cooperation from the local media. There was a lack of fan turnout, and they didn't have much talent. But man, they really put together some great PR. For example, in that first game ever, if you were taller than George Nostrand, the tallest Husky, at 6'8", you got into the game for free. And then later on that year, in an attempt to get more people out to the game, they offered free stockings to all women in attendance. So, Eric, you could have gotten yourself a pair of stockings.
It's a good thing we're 3 miles apart right now, guys.
I should have known.
Baby.
I
So
should have
let's
known.
get that on the board.
I should have known, Reg, man. There's always a trick, man.
Well, I knew it had to be. It's either B or I knew it was an A, and I'm thinking there's probably 3, but I have no idea. And then you start thinking about it and you screw it up. So
the
go ahead.
things he pulls out of his, you know what? I don't understand where they come from.
All
All
right, go
right,
ahead, Eric.
so on the
All right.
scoreboard, on the scoreboard, Brian's leading with 2. Everybody else is tied at 1.
All
At
right.
least
so
nobody got shut out.
Mine is a really straightforward question. Who has?
That means it's not straightforward at all, right?
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's very straightforward. Who has played the most NBA minutes in history? Who has played the most minutes on the court in NBA history? Is it A, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Is it B, Wilt Chamberlain? Is it C, Vince Carter? Or is it D, Dirk Nowitzki?
Oh.
Regular season or post both?
Career minutes on the basketball court in the NBA record books. Jabbar, Chamberlain, Carter, Nowitzki.
Oh, man.
15 seconds isn't long enough.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't throw Greg Oden out there, because when he was drafted, he looked like, he participated in the Civil War. He's one guy, just by looks alone, might throw people off the scent.
Yeah, well, in his one season, right, or 2.
Yeah.
So C, Vince Carter, is incorrect. He's actually the lowest of the 4, even though he's got as many years as just about anybody. It is not Dirk Nowitzki who was number 2. It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Brian got it right. 57,000 minutes. 57,446 minutes in 1,560 NBA games.
Well, it was the length of his career. And then, of course, when he, by the time he got the last, third of his career, they went to the 4 rounds of the playoffs. So there were a lot more playoff games, too. That's why I asked you whether it was regular season or both.
Yeah. Dirk Nowitzki was second in minutes, and he did it in 38 fewer games and was over 6,000 minutes behind.
Wow.
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 Yep. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So there you go. Brian picked up another point on us. Brian, your basketball question. Go.
Are you ready? We're going to
He's
go to
yawning like this is child's play for him.
a little more challenge now. Going to go a little Dubs history.
Uh-oh.
In the sign and trade that brought Andre Iguodala to the Golden State Warriors, which of the following players was not involved in that deal? Was it A, Andrej Biedrits, B, Brandon Rush, C, Monte Ellis, or D, Richard Jefferson?
Oof.
Again, it was who was not in the Andre Iguodala
I'm
trade.
ready. I'm pretty
A.
sure I know
Diedrichs,
this. I don't
B,
want to throw it up
Rush,
there
C,
too
or
soon.
Ellis, or D, Richardson? The correct answer is C, Monte
Yes.
Ellis.
Yeah. Ellis went for Bogut, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Monte Ellis was the guy who was traded
Yep.
pretty much straight up for Andrew Bogut.
Point
So
me
who
up.
was it? Reg and Eric, huh?
Yeah, baby.
Jeez. Last place on a
I tried to
basketball
pick one I knew
question.
Jordan would still be around and to pick that one up.
The resident collegiate basketball coach. Woo.
What do I know?
Yeah, that was.
I mean,
but to be
apparently
honest,
that
many
Babe Ruth
people
hit the
believe-
most multi-home run games in history or something.
That's true. That's true.
But, that was the
All right.
trade. Really, a lot of people feel really was the beginning of the transformation of the perception of the Warrior franchise when Iguodala wanted to come play for the Warriors. Because once they got him, then they got Bogut, they got Barnes, and then it just kind of, the rest is history. So, but that
They
was
need
the
another one
move
of those.
that turned the tide.
Need another one of those. Jordan, you're up.
All right. So there's going to be basically two parts to the question, okay? So each A, B, C, and D will have two guys, okay? All right. So which two NBA players won the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year? Okay? Which two NBA players won the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year? A, Tim Duncan and David Robinson. B, Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan. C, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. Or D, Kevin Garnett, Larry Bird. So which pair of guys won the Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP in the same season? You guys need me to go through them again or no?
Jordan, read them again.
All right. A, Tim Duncan, David Robinson. B, Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan. C, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. Or D, Kevin Garnett, Larry Bird. Brian and Eric is correct. B, Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan.
I was just hoping you didn't have a Jordan question that was the Jordan answer listed twice.
Yep, that's what I was waiting for.
So MJ won it in 87 and 88, Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP, and Hakeem did it in 93, 94.
And why did Hakeem get it in 93, 94? Because Jordan was playing
baseball.
In baseball.
For what organization?
White Sox.
Ooh, good knowledge.
Oh.
Yeah, he was playing at the Durham Bulls before the
Birmingham Barons.
Birmingham Barons?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Eric, were you watching Bull Durham last night?
No.
It's actually on MLB Network tonight.
I was watching Downton Abbey.
That's
proud
a
of it.
whole other podcast.
Proud of it.
All right, this race is starting to get a little differential. Brian's in the lead
what does
right
it look
now
like?
with 4. Brian's in the lead with 4. Eric's in second place with 3. Reg in third with 2, and then me with 1. My lone Babe Ruth answer.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to go to the NFL now, and Jordan, you're going to kick us off. So stump us and see if you can't pick up a point.
All right. Well, I thought I'd do a draft question just because that's one of the things that's supposed to happen at least coming up. So since 2000, how many picks in the top 10 have the Raiders and 49ers had combined?
Is that including this season? Is that including this season?
It's a big number.
Not including this season. This season. So just
neither one has a
drafts that
top
have
10
already
pick
happened.
this year.
So since 2000, how many picks in the top 10 have the Raiders and 49ers have combined? Is it A, 11? Is it B, 34? C, 23? Or D, 18? They have to be picks in the top 10 since 2000.
Top 10 of the first round.
Of the first round. A, 11, B, 34, C, 23, or D, 18.
I can't show Brian. He'll steal my answer.
Yeah, I know.
It's down to 2.
kids.
Where's that? Can we phone a friend?
No. Oh, there goes
Yeah,
Reg
no.
with the ultimate answer. All right, here we go. I need the answers, fellas. I need the answers. What is that? A B, Reg? Okay.
Yeah, is it upside down?
B34.
Yep.
Yeah, B34 incorrect. So now we're down to Brian and Eric. And Eric, D18 is the correct answer.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
That's sad.
Don't even ask me how I know that.
The 49ers have had 9 picks in the top 10, and the Raiders have had 9 picks in the top 10. So it's split right down the middle.
They've been
lots of bad years.
Bad.
There's been a lot of bad years in there. Lots of bad years. All right. Let's go to Reg.
All right, football, huh? I'm gonna throw you guys a soft toss. Okay, this one, it's a soft toss, but there's a story behind it. Okay, so you guys know that NFL officials carry yellow flags, which are thrown to indicate when a penalty has occurred, right? Yeah. So these flags are generally some sort of fabric wrapped around some sort of weight that they use to increase the accuracy and the distance on their throws if they have to call a penalty. Okay. So the referees are in charge of putting together these flags on their own. They use their own weight. So here's the question. Which of the following is the most common currently? Which of the following is currently the most common weight of choice? Is A, rosin powder, B, clay, C, beans, or D, chalk? Once again, your options are A, rosin powder,
oh my
B,
gosh.
clay, C, beans, or D, chalk.
Well,
am I supposed to know?
What do they say when all else fails?
Exactly.
Oh, I can't go that way. I was going to go that way. Now you guys rattled me. Oh, God. I don't know. I'm going with that.
Okay, the correct answer is C, beans.
Yes.
Baby.
Okay. So
Brian, one of these days the kids are going to quit trying to challenge us. What happened?
Here's the story behind it, though. Hey, who won the football picks?
How many years ago?
Where'd you finish, Eric? Where'd you finish, huh?
Yeah.
Come talk to me about today.
Who's the guru of championship games? Yeah, let's
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So here's the story behind the beans. Okay, it used to be that many officials would choose to use ball-bearing weights to throw their flags, but in 1999, Jeff Triplett struck Cleveland Browns offensive tackle Orlando Brown Sr. in the eye. It cost him 3 seasons. He was out with this eye injury for 3 seasons after being struck in the eye with a penalty flag weighted by a ball bearing. So after sitting
that's
out
like shooting a gun.
Yeah. So the fortunate thing for Orlando Brown is that he ended up settling with the NFL for $25 million. So it all worked out in the wash. Yeah.
He's probably still okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He threw a fastball. Jeez.
My question for football: what NFL quarterback holds the career record for touchdown percentage to pass attempts? In other words, the percentage of passes that end up being touchdowns. Okay.
Completion or attempts?
Is there a minimum threshold?
Attempts.
Okay.
Nope. History of the game, the quarterback who has the highest percentage of touchdown passes to attempts. Okay. Is it A, Aaron Rodgers, B, Sid Luckman, C, Peyton Manning, or D, Johnny Unitas? Aaron Rodgers, Sid Luckman, Peyton Manning, or Johnny U? Highest percentage of touchdown passes.
Read the answers one more time.
Aaron Rodgers, A, Sid Luckman, B, Peyton Manning, C, and Johnny U, D.
Okay, this is totally strategic.
So Aaron Rodgers, it was not, though he is second highest to Jordan. He threw 364 touchdown passes in 6,061 attempts from 05 to 2019. Brian, Johnny U, he was fourth on the list at 5.6%, 290 touchdown passes in 5,186 attempts over the course of 17 years. And then it comes down to Sid Luckman or Peyton Manning. And the winner has 137 touchdowns in 1,744 pass attempts. That's Sid Luckman at 7.9% of the time. Almost 8% of the time when he went to throw a pass, it was a touchdown. That's our boy Sid Luckman from 1939 to 1950. Give Reggie a point.
I've got a Luckman jersey in my garage. What can I say? I've got a Luckman jersey in my garage. What can I say? You know,
what team did Luckman play for?
No idea. It's just a blank white jersey.
It's a practice jersey.
Yeah, it's red. It's his red quarterback jersey, so he doesn't get hit.
So right now in the standings, we got Brian and Eric tied for first with 5, Reggie in second with 3rd, and Jordan still with just the Babe Ruth answer.
We still got Brian with his football question.
Oh my god!
All right, Jordan, you need to get this one right. Are you ready?
Yeah, this game is worse.
It goes Kipchoge, Luckman, a close second. Sid Luckman's right here, baby.
We need to get
Sid
a
Luckman.
life-size Kipchoge cutout so we can put it behind himself during these podcasts now. It wouldn't be very tall.
People who've never heard our sports award are going to have no idea.
You ready? All right. Tom Brady has played in 9 Super Bowls. Which of the following teams has he not played multiple times in the Super Bowl? Is it A, the Eagles, B, the Giants, C, the Packers, or D, the Rams?
Ooh, I'm in between 2. Ooh.
Again, who has Brady not played multiple times in the Super Bowl? The Eagles, the Giants, the Packers, or the Rams?
Come on, Brian. I need it.
Well, he played against the Philadelphia Eagles twice, beat Donovan McNabb, and lost to Nick Foles. He lost to the New York Football Giants twice. He beat the Rams twice. He never played the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
The Patriots have played the Packers in the Super Bowl, but Brady was not on that team. That was Drew Bledsoe. So Eric has taken a 1-point lead going to the bonus round.
Man.
God, I'm out of contention. Way out of contention.
Give us our scores here.
All right, so right now in first place, Eric has 6 points. Brian's in second place.
We should take 2 points away for whatever kind of dance that was. You should get it. That's a penalty. We'll throw a ball-bearing flag at him.
At least get some beans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian in second place with
jealous.
5. Reg in third with 4, and then me with Babe Ruth.
But you know what, Jordan? Each of these next questions is worth 3 points. So you can still
12,
come from way back.
I love it.
All right.
Who's going first? Eric, you haven't gone first yet, so why don't you go first, or do you want to go last since you have the
I will go whenever. I'm easy. I probably have the longest story just because I'm long-winded, so that's up to you.
I thought that was me.
Oh, no. Not in this one. Let's go with Jordan. Jordan, this is your chance to get on the board with 3 bonus points by stumping us all.
Okay. I had to go out of the realm of what you guys are comfortable with. So I had to choose a sport that's trying to happen right now. Dana White in the UFC, they're trying to have events. They've gotten shot down. They're shooting for the first week of May now for their event, and they're trying to find a place. It's to be determined, and they kind of have a fight card already out. So a UFC
They should
question.
hit Eric up, see if they can do it on his yacht.
No, did you hear Florida was just deemed UFC fighting essential business?
Saw that. And WWE.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, but here's the question, okay? In the UFC, for male fighters only, so not female fighters. Nothing against female fighters, but male fighters only. How many weight classes are there? A, 8, B, 5, C, 6, or D, 4? So in the UFC, for male fighters only, how many weight classes are there? Are there A, 8, B, 5, C, 6, or D, 4?
All right, who's in the lead?
Eric is.
Eric is in the lead right now with 6. Brian is in second.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
You know what?
We're going to have to go.
No.
Family show. Family show. Ready?
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's see him. Ooh, wow. Look at that.
Guys, we are tuned into the UFC, man.
We got an ABC.
This is our jam.
Okay, well, I'll tell you guys this. D is incorrect. 4 is incorrect.
Hey.
Okay? So now everyone's still in the running. I'll go backwards. C, 6 weight classes. Reg, there's not 6 weight classes.
Oh,
Man.
here we
There's
go.
not 6 weight classes. So the final 2, the top 2 right now, Brian trying to make a push or Eric trying to take the lead. The answer is A. 8 weight classes.
Goodness.
Eric with 3 big points.
Hey,
Goes
man,
from 6 to 9. Okay, I will tell you guys. It starts at the flyweight division, 125 pounds. From there, it goes up every 10 pounds. So it goes bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. There's 8 divisions.
There's no jumbo weight.
No jumbo weight.
No jumbo weight.
So
All right.
hopefully we will see a UFC card, but we'll see, and obviously everything has to be safe. So
Jordan, thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh, man.
thanks.
All right,
thanks.
Reg.
Almost like quadrupling my
Reg.
points.
Okay.
Come on, Reg.
All right, here we go. Another event that has been postponed this time, as is currently, it's been postponed for a year. The 2020 Olympics that were supposed to happen in Tokyo. Okay? So every time the Olympics rolls around, there are several sports that apply for inclusion for the upcoming games. All right? This year, there were 26 applications. So 26 different sports applied. This is the criteria, the official criteria, according to the International Olympic Committee, that upon which they judge the applying sports. Okay, number 1, the sport must be popular with young people. Number 2, the sport must give momentum to the upcoming games. And in this case, it was, Tokyo 2020, which is now Tokyo 2021. And the third criteria for adopting a new sport into the Olympics is that the sport itself meets the International Olympic Committee standards. Okay, so there are it has to be played by a certain number or played in a certain number of countries.
So the International Olympic Committee has standards?
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, apparently.
Wasn't aware.
Yeah. So 26 sports applied. Which of the following sports is not one that applied for inclusion in the 2020 Tokyo Games? Is it A, orienteering, B, spike ball, C, American football, or D, tug of war? Once again, which sport did not apply for inclusion in the 2020 Tokyo Games? Is it A, orienteering, B, spike ball, C, American football, or D, tug of war? Can't see Brian. So all of you say C, American football. Give me 3 points. It was B, spike ball. Spike ball did not apply. Even though it's hot, they have a pro circuit here in the United States. It's definitely catching momentum. Maybe we'll see it in 2024, but it did not apply for the 2020 Tokyo Games.
American
However,
football
orienteering and tug of war and American football all did.
I guess because America would be the only entry.
Maybe so. So there are, I'll throw this out to you guys. There are 5 new sports that were adopted of the 26 that applied. So the 5 new sports that we will see in the now 2021 Tokyo Olympics include baseball, softball. They applied jointly. Now it used to be an Olympic sport, but then they canceled that in after the 96 games, I believe, or the 2000 games. But it's back. Karate is making its debut at the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. Skateboarding, sport climbing, and surfing, all new sports in the upcoming Olympic Games in Tokyo.
Okay.
Well, Reg,
Okay.
with those 3 points, you are now in second place.
Oh,
That's right. That's right.
With 7 points, 1 point, or sorry, 2 points. 2 points behind Eric with 9. Brian, you're still at 5. You're now in third place, and then me with Babe Ruth.
Eric, you just got a little more red. I don't know if you lean close to the camera or if you're starting to feel it a little bit. I don't know.
I'm running out of gas here. I'm pulling
I'm born red.
like an old New York Mets or Chicago Cubs, losing from ahead. Free falling at the end of the season.
All right, Brian, what you got?
All right, this is a dual sport question. Which NFL team is Henry Aaron's favorite? There's a backstory to this.
Give me a second. Let me hit him up real quick. He's on my speed dial.
Is it A, the Atlanta Falcons? Is it B, the
God.
Cleveland Browns? Is it C, the Dallas Cowboys? Or is it D, the Green Bay Packers? Henry Aaron, the second all-time home run leader, the greatest right-handed hitting home run hitter of all time, who played for both the Milwaukee and the Atlanta Braves.
That's just killing me.
Where'd he go?
We lost that last part, Brian.
Yeah,
you may want to do that
He froze
again.
on us a bit there.
Oh, did I disappear?
Yep.
You get the greatest right-handed home run hitter of all time?
Okay,
That's
that's
what
what
we were
we
looking
That's
for.
good enough.
Okay. All right, so hit us with the teams again. His favorite team.
His favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons, the Cleveland Browns, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Green Bay Packers. And give Jordan a little hint, because he's a little bit older, or a little bit younger. He played for the Milwaukee and the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, that's a hint?
Give me the order again.
Yeah, do it again.
A, Falcons, B, Browns, C, Cowboys, D, Packers.
Is that D as in letter, D
I'm gonna
Packers,
be
or are you
so
saying
mad.
the Packers with an accent?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to be so mad because I just switched my answer because of the hint.
The Packers, not
I'm not.
Packers.
The hint may or may not have anything to do with the. It's just I wanted to let you know that in case you didn't know that.
I think you just led me astray. I don't know though. No, I'm sticking with my first answer. Forget it. I'm staying with it.
Correct answer is B, Cleveland Browns. Attaboy, Jordan.
Oh, I almost changed it. There we go.
The Cleveland Browns. So here's the story behind this. When Aaron was young, he really loved the Browns. Jim Brown and many of the players, Otto Graham. He played, or he watched them, and he followed them. And so once he was nearing the end of his career, he would fly up if they, once the season was over, he would fly to Cleveland from Atlanta on a Sunday morning. He would go and sit in the dog pound with a mask over his head and cheer for the Browns just like everybody else. And then he would get up and leave, but he wouldn't take the mask off until he got into his vehicle to go back to the airport. Well, one Sunday, he decided to spend the night. And so he had his same his outfit or his clothing on, but he had taken the mask off, and he was sitting in a restaurant, and somebody walked up behind him in a very polite way and said, "I thought that was you I saw in the dog pound." And it was because he recognized the clothing. He just had taken the mask off, and he was hooting and hollering and making noise, but he literally did it for years without anybody knowing that it was him that was the person sitting in the dog pound. He's been a Cleveland Browns fan his whole life. And his favorite all-time Cleveland Browns player, Ozzie Newsome. because Ozzie Newsome went to the University of Alabama, and Alabama is where Hank Aaron grew up. So even though he's older than Newsome, he always appreciated Newsome. And so he is still to this day a beleaguered Cleveland Browns fan. Nice job, Jordan.
There we go.
There you go.
One would have just not been right. I mean, that would have just been
Think about it, Eric. He's gotten 2 questions right. Babe Ruth and Henry Aaron.
Hank Aaron. Yeah, go figure.
Man.
All right. Last one. So here we go. It's all on the line right here.
Can anybody catch him, Jordan, by the way?
Let's see. Reggie, if Reggie gets it right and Eric does not stump us, Reggie can win. Reggie can take it. Because he'd be at 10 and I'd be 1 more than Eric. Brian.
No, I can't catch him.
You'd be just short, and then I could actually jump into second. Tie for second if I'm the only one that can get this.
Man, there's a lot on the line here.
There's a lot on the line here. It's a baseball question. And it's, what is the most home runs ever hit in a single professional baseball game by one player? Most home runs ever hit in a single game by a professional baseball
So
player.
not necessarily a Major League Baseball player, a professional. It's going to be minor league as well. I'm asking for clarification.
Well, look at the face. What is that? What?
Because I already know what the answer is if it's Major League Baseball and there's more than one person. I'm guessing it includes all professional baseball at any level in any country.
Professional baseball.
There's going to be some dude that hit 30 jacks in Japan
One game.
with like 100
One
feet
game.
fence. Like,
Wasn't that in bench warmers?
And define baseball. Are we talking like closely related to baseball, like cricket? Because they play for like 3 days.
Hey, Jordan, maybe it's
I know how you
Rick
work.
Rob Schneider from Benchwarmers.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Professional baseball in this country.
In
Okay.
this country.
It's
Okay, that helps.
A, 4 home runs by one player. B, 6 home runs by one player. C, 8 home runs by one player. Or D, 10 home runs by one player.
In one game.
Go game.
Well, I know what the Major League record is.
So do I.
Professional baseball.
Four, 6,
going all-
8, 10.
I'm going all or
6, 8,
nothing.
10. 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. Remember your answers. Let me tell you the story about this guy, first of all. Guy's name was J. Justin Clark. Played back in the early 1900s, and he was
Sounds like a shoe salesman.
he was a Canadian of Indian descent. And if you remember the last time I did one of these, I also did a catcher. If you remember the catcher that we talked about. Another catcher. So J. Justin Clark was the catcher who popularized the use of shin guards. That was his claim.
Smart man.
Ty Cobb called him one of the 2 best catchers he had ever seen. So that's high praise from Ty Cobb. He caught a no-hitter tossed by Addie Joss. He also, when he played for Cleveland in the major leagues, he had a year where he hit 358 for the Cleveland Navs. But this happened in a small place called Ennis, Texas, when he was playing for a team from Texarkana back in 19.
And he's got multiple pages of notes there, Reg.
Oh, I do.
Hey, wait,
And
time
I'm
out. Does anybody else
skipping.
get the feeling like he's writing the story as he goes? Is anybody else concerned about this? Do we have a
Skimming.
fact checker?
Well, he threw a Ty Cobb reference thinking that we would then consider it legit.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know.
No. He played for the Class D Texas League.
Oh, small park.
1902. He played for a team from Corsicana.
Got a
The Corsicana
right center field jet
Ironworks.
stream.
The Corsicana Oil City Ironworks. And They only lasted in the Texas League for 3 years back in 1902. As a matter of fact, one of the amazing things about this Corsicana team is it set another record that stayed all the way up until 1987. They won 22 games in a row at one point in their season. And they finished up with an 83-20 something record that year. They were a good bunch of ball players. As a matter of fact, this class team.
That's probably the most accurate fact of this whole thing. 83-20 something.
You laugh.
And they were pretty good. They weren't bad.
But they weren't. Anyway, they had a week into this run on June 15th. They had to play a team from Salt Lake City. No. They had to play a team from Texarkana. And
they were Texarkana.
No, they were Corsicana. Corsicana played Texarkana. And now in Texarkana, they had a law you couldn't play any games after dark. So they had to take their game and they moved it to a small town called Ennis. One of the things about Ennis is in this ballpark, they had first baseline bleachers that kind of jutted out into right field. Some say it may have been about 240 feet to get over the fence in right field. Others say it could have been about 140 feet.
I love it. Gotta be.
Eric, what do you say? Eric, what do you say? Let's settle it right now. What do you say, Eric?
As we talk about this game, as we talk about this game, the score of this game was 51-3.
I gotta have it.
What?
I'm coming back.
51-3. And
Mercy rule?
Yeah.
Well, it got so bad that they described the official scorekeeper as getting frustrated and going up in the air in the middle of the game. There's some discrepancies on the scorecard, let's just say. But there have been a number of sworn affidavits to the fact that this guy accomplished the feat of hitting the most home runs in a single game.
This is so you, man.
There's
discrepancies in the scorecard. We're not sure how many games they won or lost. They had to, under the cover of night, they had to move the game somewhere else where there were bleachers right behind first base.
They were 88-23.
Okay.
88-23 that year. Good year for them. But they beat Texarkana 51-3. As a matter of fact, at the midpoint of the season, the league asked Texarkana not to be a part of the league anymore. They said,
Shocker.
You're not going to finish
Well,
up.
part of it because they got to go play in places where it's 140 feet to right field.
Evidently. So one of the things that throws some of the scorekeeping in question is they asked the question. They had 101 at-bats, 7 unlisted at-bats, in other words, at-bats that were walks or hit batsmen, 54 runs at 51-3, 62 hits, and they finished the game in a nice, tidy 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yankees and Red Sox can't even get to I would say the 7th inning stretch. They can't even get to halfway through this one.
In a 1-0 game, they can't get it into me. So, anyway, as the story goes, Clark hit a home run in his first at-bat, hit a home run in his second at-bat.
Keep him going.
Lifted a fly ball in his third at-bat that cleared the fences, and his fourth at-bat. First 4 at-bats, 4 for 4, 4 home runs. And one of the Texas cattlemen comes out of the stands, and was the custom in that time, they passed the hat around, but this guy came out of the stands, put $50 in his palm after his 4th home run. Just kind of as a, hey, good deal. Next, he hits his 5th home run. The rival cattleman of the same city, he comes out of the stand, gives the dude $50. Pass the hat around, he collects another $85, $185, which was more than a week's pay for that one game. And he's only hit 5 home runs so far.
So far.
5 home runs so far. Home run number 6 and number 7 hit up in the air, and the breeze takes it over the 140-foot mark. 7.
Let's go.
The breeze?
7.
Little boombox. Little boombox.
Paint that picture. Paint that
For
picture,
7.
Vin Scully.
7 for 7 with 7 home runs.
I need 3 more, Eric.
Now, this was considered what they called the second most famous minor league game ever played. The first one was when a guy called by the name of Ron Nacia threw 27 strikeouts in one game in 1952. They say that's the most.
All of them.
Well, but at that park, the pitching mound was only 10 feet away from home plate, right? So
he's playing with 140-foot fences. Give the guy a break.
Yeah.
So this guy, 7 for 7, comes up one more time in the game and gets it to go just over the right field fence. 8 for 8, 8 home runs in a single game, stands today as the professional baseball record for the most home runs in a single game. Now, just to let you know what it was like in 1902, the dude ended up finally getting to the majors, played 3 seasons in the majors. He had another kind of unique thing. He was he played for Cleveland. He got traded.
Got to go to another page, Reg.
He got traded. He got traded to Detroit, where he played 3 games in 7 days, and then was sent back to Cleveland.
He got traded back to Cleveland?
Traded back to Cleveland after 3 games. And when he was in retirement, he was a welder's assistant when they caught up to him to do this interview back in 1950 something. And but he hit 8 home runs in a single game.
How many home runs did he hit in his career at the big
in his
league
major league career? He just a second.
8.
He's got to cycle through his encyclopedia.
Let's see.
He's looking through the book of Eli right now.
Okay, it is a great story. You guys should, if you could read this story. In his career, and I think he played about 500 games, he hit 6 home runs in his.
Oh, wow. I was close. Because there was no more 140-foot fences.
Man.
He actually played 1 year as a full-time catcher in the major leagues. Now, remember, Ty Cobb said he was the second best defensive catcher he'd ever seen, right? He played in a game where he gave up 9 stolen bases in a single game. It was at the end of his career, his arm was shot. He had another situation where his arm was so bad. Back in the day, you used to be able to steal second, but then if you didn't want it, you could go back to first. So the guy stole second.
What?
Clark didn't throw it.
You're making up games right now, man. Wait. Okay, let's backtrack a second. What this is, guys, for Brian and Jordan. I've known Eric a long time. This is a replay of Eric Davis backyard baseball from 1970 something or other. Right? This is a game that he's played in his mind for the last 3 decades. In the backyard with a wiffle ball and a wiffle ball bat.
Anyway, guy steals second base and Clark doesn't throw. So the guy says, I can get him to throw. He runs back to first base and doesn't. And sure enough, Clark decides to throw, and the guy from third scores.
What is going on right now?
Justin Clark.
So what was the correct answer? It was 8, but what letter was that?
That was 8 was C, and nobody picked C.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's me, folks. That's 3 for me.
Oh, my goodness.
I encourage anybody that's listening, look up J. Justin Clark and the story about the 8 home runs he hit in one game.
So think about it, Reg. A little league fence is 200 feet.
Yeah.
where 9-year-olds play.
Yeah, that's less than home plate to second base. It's like that's like to the edge of the outfield grass.
Yeah, basically, if you head to the outfield grass, you're good.
I think if you read the account, the guy that said 140 feet, I think he was being a little bit facetious, but it was no more than 204.
So it's Little League.
It was a short fence. And nobody, the interesting thing though, he went 8 for 8 with 8 home runs. They did score 51 runs, but nobody else hit more than 3 home runs. So,
they're slackers. Only hit 3 home runs with a 200-foot fence.
Well, that was back during the dead ball era, right?
And here was the thing, another interesting fact about that game, which you have to have if you're going to get 8 home runs in a game. It was the same pitcher for Texarkana for all 9 innings. He won the 51 runs.
That's just wrong.
Legend has it, he was the owner's son, and the owner told the manager, I want my kid to pitch today. So the manager put his kid in to pitch, and every inning he'd walk by.
What was he doing, soft toss?
Kid to pitch, you're going to pitch today. And then back in the day, he won the crowd over, and the crowd was just egging him on to pitch to the guy every time. Pitch. He says, kid just kept leaving me high and inside sliders. Great story.
That is a great story.
If you want to know why baseball was popular and maybe declining in popular, you don't have those stories anymore. That is part of the lore of the game. Part of the things that you never think you'll see, ever believe you could see. Those things don't happen anymore. You don't come away from many baseball games with that sense of, I just saw something that I may never see before or again. In football, you got the guy that hurdles somebody for a touchdown or does or catches the ball on his head. And in basketball, you got the slam dunks that are coming from out of nowhere where, you just get posterized. In baseball, you just don't have that stuff anymore. And you need that colorful history to make the game what it could and should be.
Well, and what happens with baseball, too, is because it ends up being a lot more strikeout, home run, walk. And so when you have that, the game, you have less opportunity for those types of things to happen in the game.
Yeah. And it's so specialized. What pitcher is going to go out there and wear 51? 51 runs in a game.
I would say, Randy Johnson wore 51, but I don't think he ever gave up 51 runs. He may not have given up 51 runs in a season a couple of times.
Kid never pitched again, by the way. In history, they can't find another box score with his name in it.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the witness protection program.
The one and done for him. But anyway, I just found that to be an absolutely incredible story. 8 home runs in the game, 8 for 8. And there is, if you read the article that I found, there is some controversy about the score. Some say he was 8 for 8 with 8 home runs. Some say he was 8 for 10. They're not real sure. But like they said, the scorekeeper got up in the air at one point. I have no idea what that even means. I think it means he just left. But
it means he was smoking grass behind the third base dugout.
Had to live through that.
Anyway, wow.
Well,
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And you can give me the final score now, Jordan.
Yeah, so I'll go backwards. So last place, myself, with 4 points. Sad day. Third place got Brian, who started off real hot, but simmered out late with 5 points. In second place, Reg came close, but 7 points, still good performance. And our trivia champion, our first annual Blue Trip trivia champion.
Of the quarantine quiz. How many points was that? How many points
11,
was that?
11 points. The only one in double digits.
Uh-huh. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Well, congratulations, Eric. Nice. You went deep into the archives for that win. That was a great story.
I appreciate that. So I expect to have 3 beers next time we ever get together, if that ever happens again.
Eric, you had so many papers in front of you. I don't know if you're looking up stuff while we're doing this. I don't know.
I did my research, man. I did my research.
I think Jordan was up in the air for part of the scorekeeping portion.
I want to know where's that story when we're doing a double hitter and it's like 11-1.
Well, I didn't have it until now. I'll have it for you now. I will have it for you now. Anyway, that's this edition of Get in the Game. It's the quarantine quiz. Your champion. The rest of y'all are losers for now. But Brian, let's talk about some things that we may have coming up.
Well, we're excited about having a YouTube
Brian's
channel.
froze again.
Am I still frozen?
Nope.
Okay.
You're good.
We're excited about having a YouTube channel. We can kind of see this a little bit more. We're going to try to do these hopefully, well, right now during the regular quarantine, we got plenty of time on our hands. So we'll try to get a few more of these done until we get back to some sort of reality. We got news today that no sporting events through the summer in California. So, Eric, I guess those Giant season tickets that we're a part of are not going to happen. Shocker. So, anyway, so we're excited about this. If you've got ideas, we still have our old email address, bcsportsbroadcasting@yahoo.com. But also we have a new email address, bluechipsports4, 1, 2, 3, 4, @gmail.com. So our YouTube channel is called Blue Chip Broadcasting and bluechipsports4 @gmail.com. If you are interested in any kind of topic, if you want to play along, we encourage you play along with some of these quizzes. We'll probably do a few more of these over the next few weeks and months, as Lord knows there's not much else to talk about in the sports world.
Might watch Reggie and Jordan play tiddlywinks.
We could call it, Eric. You can do play-by-play. I'll do color.
Come at me, Jordan. Come at me. I'm warmed up.
The way that arm's moving, I don't know if I want any of that. I don't know.
I know we've talked about maybe drafting our all-time baseball teams or all-time basketball teams, all-time football teams. Just some fun stuff, just different, unique, creative. Hopefully you have a little fun. We make you laugh a little bit. Maybe you learn a little something, especially tonight about Texarkana and Corsicana and 51-3. Never know what you might. Unlike baseball, which is not predictable, you listen to watch Get in the Game, you're going to see something you never thought you'd see and probably hope you never would.
I want you to remember the catcher's name.
Sean J. Clark?
Justice Clark.
Justin
J.
Clark.
Justin.
J. Justin
Got
Clark.
it.
Okay.
One of the colorful members. There you go. One of the colorful members of baseball history. Look, we're still trying to figure this medium out. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to do with it. We hope you enjoy it. This is
wait. Before I'm trying to figure out why there's a teddy bear and a stuffed bunny up behind you in the top right corner of your screen.
Reg,
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I need an audience. Because not only, just a second, I'll give you a tour. Not only are they up there, but over the shoulder, there's some.
Oh, nice.
But yet, Reg, practicing appropriate social distancing from Eric. Not from each other, but from Eric.
Right. That's right.
They are stuffed animals, Brian. I don't think they're afraid of catching it. No, but as we try to figure this out, we hope you enjoy it with us, and that we can bring some levity to some life that is a lot different right now than we ever expected, nor did we anticipate that we'd be in this situation. So interact with us, whether it's on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, through our email, whatever, because quite frankly, Jordan is bored. Jordan.
Hey, look, I get to do my walks and my push-ups. So
that's a far cry from
Jordan
normal.
is involved in what is considered a non-essential business at this point.
That would be true.
I find him very essential, though. This is essential business.
Well, that is, I would say, but his real job, the one that actually provides financial compensation, has been deemed a little 100%. Non-essential. So
100%.
So anyway, join us again for the next episode to Get in the Game. And no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, I want you to remember this one thing. Get in the game.
You've been listening to Get in the Game, an exclusive presentation of the Blue Chip Sports Network. Get in the Game with Eric, Brian, Reggie, and Jordan on iTunes, the Blue Chip Broadcasting YouTube channel, and BlueChipBroadcasting.com.